Great job on the win today. What did you make of that performance?
Look, I think it was pretty solid. We knew we've obviously been on the road for 10 days, so I was a little bit worried about fatigue and that sort of thing, but the girls were pretty sharp at the start of the game. We knew we'd have to defend really well. Geelong obviously are a little bit undersized with Hoykart being out today, and they've got a few injuries, but I was really happy, I think, with how we executed at the start of the game. I thought we defended pretty well in the first quarter. And then obviously we were able to build a good lead going into halftime. And, I think that's always the worry when you're up by a certain margin at halftime, is you come out a bit sluggish and not quite ready. And we got jumped a little bit, had a few turnovers, and Geelong got hot from three. But overall, I think a really solid game, and, really happy to finish the road trip off with a win.
Obviously, we saw in that third quarter, I think they cut the deficit to as much as 3. What did you kind of say to the girls to get them revved up and then see out that win by 25 points it was in the end?
I didn't really say much to rev them up. It was just more refocusing, I think. Like, we came out, we weren't focused. We had a few defensive lapses, gave up some open shots, and I think we had 2 or 3 turnovers as well in that span. And we just had to get back and settle. Settle, start executing again. Obviously play to our strengths and our advantages that we had, and once we started doing that, we were able to kind of get momentum back. I thought Lucy Olsen did a great job in that patch of getting us going, hit a couple shots. Then Mila got hot and hit a few threes as well, and that was able to sort of steady the ship, and we went on from there.
I think one of the key things about this side's offense is especially that pick and roll. How do you kind of feel like it is developing in this early stage of the season?
It's definitely getting better. I think each game we've gotten a little bit better with it. And we have some very specific things we look at in terms of that we need to be able to get done with our spacing and how we screen, and just even the reads that we have to be able to make. And I think we're slowly getting better with those. I think it's something that, every year it kind of takes us a while to figure out what we're doing and what our reads are and the counters that we have to different actions that we're trying to run. And I think usually by the midpoint of the year we start playing, fairly well within that. So hopefully that'll be the same thing this season. But yeah, really happy with the girls. I think their mindset's great. We're really willing to share the ball and find the open player, and I think that's going to be really key for us.
Lauren, over to you. Obviously you came off the bench again today. How important do you kind of feel like your role is in keeping that side's momentum going forward when you do come off the bench?
Yeah, I think it's all of us that do come off the bench. I think we have a lot of players that can come in and make an impact. So we just tell ourselves to be ready when our name is called, whether that's 2 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is, we have to be ready to go.
Obviously you're one of the best defenders in the league. How important kind of is defense to this squad, especially just from your point of view?
Not to be cliche, but defense wins championships. And I think when you're having an off night offensively, you really have to pick it up on defense. Not that we had an off night offensively, but when you do, you have to lean back on your defense. So we put a huge emphasis on that.
Obviously, home next week after 5 games. How just excited is the girls just to get back to Queensland?
Oh man, so excited. It's been a long road trip. I think we might be getting sick of each other a little bit, but happy to be back in Townsville playing at home next week.
Do you kind of feel like the fatigue from just travelling from Perth to Melbourne and almost all across the country did set in a little bit today? And how do you kind of overcome it for next week?
Yeah, I think we're going to have those times during the season where fatigue does set in, whether we're traveling or not. And that's when we have to be professional about it, take care of our bodies off the court, get enough sleep, eat right, things like that. We are all professional basketball players and we know how to take care of ourselves. So whether we're on a 10-day road trip or we're playing at home 3 games in a row, we definitely have to take care of ourselves and push through that exhaustion.
Awesome. Thanks. That's all I have for today.
Lauren, how fun was it to kind of go up against Mackenzie Holmes?
Yeah, it was.
2 Americans.
Yeah, it was fun. I've never played against her before. Obviously, great player, leading the league in scoring. Great finisher around the rim. So that was a lot of fun.
And how good picking up Sarah as well? She's a great player in the league, but how important is she a great game from her from 3 and some really tiny threes? important has she been to this group so far this season?
Oh, she's been really important. I think you kind of see, like the other night in Perth as well, anytime we're struggling offensively, she just always seems to step up and hit a big shot or a three, or has a little flurry of points herself and just kind of gets us going again. And, Mila, she's fit in really well here. Like she's trying to learn how we're playing and all those things, and she's getting better with that. But just as a person and how she's come in and fit into our team, and she plays really hard on the defensive end as well, which has been great. So yeah, she's been super important. And I think last year we had a really good team, and we probably got to the grand final and really struggled to score. And I think someone like Mila kind of gives us that extra piece that we maybe were missing. And we'll see what happens this season. But so far she's been amazing.
Last one from me as well. You picked up the credit from Geelong in the off-season. So you've got very experienced and deep bench, and she came on towards the end. But how much do you feel like she's going to gain from such an experienced kind of teammates and then coming up to Townsville from down this way?
Yeah, a lot. I actually, when we were in free agency and looking for players and things, I sort of came across her, and I think just her size and athleticism and raw, like natural ability was what kind of caught my eye. And, I think she's somebody that she's so young, she's only going to get better from here, and she's going to gain a lot. Playing with the likes of Coxie and Courtney Woods and Alicia Froling and those types of people that have been in the league for a long time. And, she's someone I'm really excited about. I think she's got the potential to become a really elite 3-and-D wing player in our league who can switch and guard multiple positions. And, she's working really hard sort of back home at practice and everything. So I think she's going to continue to improve. And, I'm excited to see her start to carve out a role in our team and earn some more minutes as we go through the season. Cool.
Was obviously like a rallying cry next week for just get everyone at your first home game for the year. So what's your main message to fans next week of getting into Townsville entertaining?
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. We're finally back home. We've had several people the first couple weeks of the season ask when our first home game is, so I think everyone is just really excited. We always get a lot of fans there, and I think Townsville home games are a lot of fun, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Shannon, Courtney only had 2 assists at halftime, I believe. She's obviously leading the league in assists. Was there any concern from your point of view of sort of the point of the offense sort of not working for that first half and it sort of caught up towards the end?
No, not really. I mean, we were pretty efficient in the first half. We got out in transition a fair bit. And I think that's the beauty of like how we play and how our team's kind of designed as well, as it's not going to be everyone's night every night. And I think everybody understands that. Courtney's a really important piece of what we do, and a lot of our offense does flow through her, but obviously that means that she's going to gain a lot of attention from other teams as well. So sometimes she's face guarded or held off the ball, and it's harder for her to get her hands on the ball, but that's why it's great with our system. We can play through Coxie inside or Froles or Mila or anybody. And so, I'm not really concerned with that. Courtney's a great player. She knows what she's doing, and she showed that in the second half and made some really key plays that were able to, allowed us to kind of finish the game off. So, she does a great job, and I'm sure she'll have a great game next week as well.
And it's a credit to your recruiting. It seems unfair. You pull off an opal and you put on a WNBL player. So when it comes to Lucy's minutes and how she fits within the team, how do you balance having a 3-headed monster in Abby, Zola and her in sort of minutes and making sure, is it just whoever's hot?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're lucky. I think it's, but if you think back to last year, we had no opals, and now all of a sudden we have heaps because they've been fortunate enough to make the squad. So it's, I think it's a credit to the girls for working so hard. And, Lucy's come in, she's got a fantastic attitude. She works really hard. And, I think that it just allows us to rotate people more often, so to continue to put pressure on teams defensively and then continue to play with the high pace on offense. And, I think the more that we do it and the more consistent, I guess, when we get some practices now we're going back home, hopefully we can find even better flow with what we're doing. And, I think whoever starts for us is who starts. And, you see the last few games, we've had games where Courtney Woods has finished on the bench in games. We've had games where Lucy's played key minutes down the stretch, or Abby has. Same with Coxie, Fowler and Froles. It's not always going to be the same people that start the game or finish the game. And I think that's the beauty of our team and the character of the individuals we have to buy into that and be able to put the team before themselves. Cool. Is that it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
you.
Thanks a lot.